Page 3, setting up proper motivation. Okay, anyone, just raise your hands, those who do not have this book. Okay, page 3, setting up proper motivation, which consists of 3 parts. Refuge field, visualize Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in front of you. And how you visualize them. They are like a very affectionate parents, and you come home demoralized from the school, being bullied by elder children in the school, and your parents are waiting there to give full love, affection, and attention and embrace. Bodhicitta field, visualize the 2 kind parents on the 2 sides, and all of family members, including your children, and everyone in the entire universe. And here you are the mother, and all others are like your children. And imagine they come home demoralized, and you are there to give full love, affection, attention, so forth. And the purpose of this practice is to activate the ultimate source of happiness that exists within each one of us, no matter who we are, whether male, female, educated, uneducated, whether Buddhist, not, it doesn't matter. Everybody has this ultimate source of happiness within yourself. Only thing is that it is defiled by, it is stained by the mental defilements, and as long as the defilements are there, then this Buddha nature, the perfect state of happiness, cannot become manifest. Like the gold, when mixed with the soil, you cannot see the gold glowing. And as the soil is removed, slowly the gold inside will become vibrant and glowing. So the purpose is to separate this true nature of the mind from the mental defilements and make the Buddha nature become vibrant, so that we are not affected by any external factors anymore, and you experience the bounties of happiness eternally, with miseries remotely, or with miseries far left behind, and not even the word misery be heard. So with that in mind, you are leading this, and all sentient beings are happily joining you, and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they are watching us. Page 3. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha with Dharma, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha with Dharma, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha with Dharma, I pay homage. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the Supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace which is the freedom of aberrations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers and Bodhisattvas and Buddhas, who through the knowledge of all these hearers seeking pacification and complete peace achieve the aims of the world, and who through the possession of omniscience help subduers and expand varieties of teachings. The one who is transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings. The teachers who guard and protect her, to your make prostrations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble light rays. To you, the Buddha, make prostrations. I go for refuge until enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations to the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations to the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations to the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sangye joda soge chonam la chanju pardo dane kyabsu che Dagi jinso gebe sonam ge, dola penjir sangye rubara sho. Sangye chola soge chonam la, chanju pardu dane gyapsu chi. Dagi jinso gebe sonam ge, dola penjir sangye rubara sho. Sangye chola soge chonam la, chanju pardu dane gyapsu chi. Dagi jinso gebe sonam ge, dola penjir sangye rubara sho. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I chanted the mantra full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Om ye dharma prabhavam hetum desham tathagato yavatat desham chayo nirodha evam bhati mahashramanaye svaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum desham tathagato yavatat desham chayo nirodha evam bhati mahashramanaye svaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum desham tathagato yavatat desham chayo nirodha evam bhati mahashramanaye svaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of the causes as well as taught by the great seer. Page 6. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear light and non-composite. Such is the nectar-like dharma I have discovered. Finding no one to fathom this teaching, in silence I retwined with the words. Beyond utterance, thought and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has the nature of space. It is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddha, so that 3 times I bore obeisance. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is the source of all, I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, please liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expanse of the billions of aeons. The Buddha does not watch the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by the teaching, the truth of suchness, that beings are liberated. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma, for all bewildered miseries grow. If you are attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you are attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you are attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. Okay, page 14, the praise to Shakyamuni Buddha. To the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the full destroyer, completely perfected, full awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme God of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you the complete and full awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings and go for refuge. When, O Supreme amongst humans, you were born on this earth, you paced off 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise, then I prostrate. With pure bodies formed supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With a supreme science face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dusty like you, the 3 worlds are not, incompatible wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you the Tathagata I prostrate. the purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dhamma that pacifies the prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions, subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through this marriage may sentient beings attain the rank of false seeing, subdue the four faults, and be delivered from samsara sushan, perturbed by the ways of aging, sickness and death. Okay, Heart Sutra Mantra. Page 31. Deyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhisvatyata 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 Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhisvatyata. Page 32, 8 was my training. With the determination to achieve the highest aim for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish-fulfilling gem, may I hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may I view myself as the lowest amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart, respectfully hold others as superior. In all my deeds, may I probe into my mind, and as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character, or oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, may I hold them dear, for they are rare to find, as if I have discovered a jewel treasure. When others out of jealousy treat me wrongly with abuse, slander and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I have helped or in whom I have placed great hopes mistreats me in extremely hurtful ways, may I regard him still as my precious teacher. In brief, may I offer a benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all hurts and pains of my mothers. May all these remain undefiled by the stains of 8 mundane concerns, and may I, recognizing all things as illusions, devoid of clinging, be released from bondage. From our true collections, vast space that I've amassed, from working with effort at this practice for a very long time, achieve leading Buddha for all those whose minds is blinded with ignorance. Okay, the 5 minutes meditation. Okay, so for the meditation, a very quick review of the four points. One is body posture. Number 2 is the focal point. Number 3 is the errors to be identified, and number 4 to apply the remedies to overcome the errors. For the body posture, most important thing is sitting upright, and the eyes should not be closed, eyes half open, and 45 degrees cast down, and the tip of your tongue should touch the upper palate to avoid excessive accumulation of saliva in the mouth. And the focal point focus on a tiny dot, white dot, 1 mm or 2 mm in diameter, between nose and upper lip. While you focus your mind there, multitasking, count your breath, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. So the count your breath, and then see in 5 minutes how many counts. And the counts may differ from one individual to the other. In some cases, it can be like 108, others 60, 70, depending on the length of your breath. Then if you lose track of the count, go back to 0, start from 0. Okay. And then the errors, identifying the errors of meditation. Errors of meditation twofold. One is mental laxity, and the other one is mental excitement. Mental excitement is overactivity of your mind, and mental laxity is the mind becomes passive. And to avoid the two errors, number 4, applying remedies to overcome the 2 errors. The remedies to introspection and mindfulness. Introspection is to check your mind. Keep an eye on your own mind to see whether your mind is meditating, or is already excited, scattered, or in the relaxed state. Should you see that your mind is in the relaxed state or scattered, then apply the mindfulness, bring the mind back to the intended object of meditation. Okay, this is what we're going to do for 5 minutes. Are you ready? Okay, now we are on page 32. Page 32. Okay, so this is this chapter again. This chapter is the chapter to reject the belief in the objective existence of time, saying that the time does not exist truly, time does not exist the objectively or inherently. We see that we live in time. We live in time, and it's as though like the fabric of the whole universe is the time. Time, like what the fabric of the whole universe is the space and time, and the space to be described in relation to the particles, space occupied by the external the particles, and the particles they make the universe. Then the east-west, north, south, all these the directions all come into being on the basis of the space. And then one thing which is not really discussed in modern science is the mind. The mind, what is concretely there is the space and the mind, and these two exist in time. And on the basis of the space and the mind, then we have all the other abstract, the impermanent phenomena arising. For example, the sense of the self, the person, comes into being on the basis of the space and the mind, which exists in time. So these three things put together, then all phenomena, they come into being on the basis of these three things. So the fabric of all these things is the time. So where the time is there, so the time can only be conceptualized in relation to the body and the mind. The body resembles the body constituting the space and the mind. So if we get a sense thus far, so before we engage in the analysis of the time to explore whether time really exists as intrinsically, objectively, or is coming from your mind, till then we took for granted that the time is something which exists so intrinsically and so solidly, and on that basis we see everything is operating within that framework of the time. Then when this analysis is done to see how whether or not time truly exists the way it appears, as so objectively there, so outrightly there, as the objectively and fixated, so solidified there as something intrinsic. In this connection, with the advent of Albert Einstein, then the relativity of time is also explained. Not only space, but also time. So this is something so unique. And whereas in Buddhism, the time, of course, it exists only in relative terms. Same from the object side, there's nothing really there as a time. So in a meditation, so far the purpose is these are the realities, very subtle realities. The point is whether or not we can benefit out of these reflections. Is the point. Yeah, simply because something is very subtle doesn't mean that reflection on this point will help us or benefit us. Whereas seeing things as the objective real, we come to know that this is the cause of all the miseries, all the problems, stress, tension, everything. And seeing things as empty of objective existence, that one's mind is released from the fears, anxiety and so forth. So this is extremely important under meditation. At the same time, say, the initial experience of the emptiness of the external objects, like the flowers, the house, and your objects of possession. So their initial experience is described to be a little bit of a tinge of fear coming on us. And then when you meditate on emptiness of mind, so they can be even more scary, And because we see that when the self and the mind, the adherence to the mind as something objectively real, this is even more solid, and so even more concrete, even more strongly glued to the belief that the mind exists truly. So it is very scary. And then when you think of the time as empty for objective existence, it could be really, we might get the feeling as though like we are drowning in the middle of the ocean, where nothing's really there to hold on to. The fear could be quite intense. At the same time, if through this analysis, through this practice, if you do get a feel that time does not exist inherently, it's just mental imputation, then because time is the framework of all phenomena, meaning the space and the mind, space and mind, and then all the non-composite phenomena, they all come into being on the basis of the composite phenomena. So we see that once the time is dismantled to exist objectively, then the experience of fear can be very, very intense. At the same time, if you could somehow be familiarized with this experience, then the experience is very profound. It is extremely profound, and the tendency for our afflictions to arise can be severed very effectively. So by the way, the meditation on the emptiness of the mind is very closely connected with the meditation on emptiness of the time. These two are very closely connected. At the same time, meditation on emptiness of time per se, that would be extremely beneficial. But in the process of this meditation, the point is always be very careful that it must be supported by a tremendous energy of the mind, known as the merit, accumulation merit. That is so important. So with this meditation, should you feel that you can't really bear the pain of the fear is overwhelming, then it is good to share your experiences with someone else, particularly someone who is more experienced into this kind of analysis. Then see how to tackle, what other additional factors are to be included. Okay, this is very important. So now I think we will finish this chapter today. Okay, this is what we're doing here is quite technical, and oh, I don't know why. Thought.
Tips that you give me.
Okay. But how can I eat it? If I...
You can just...
Huh?
You can just...
Then can I talk? Huh? Okay.
Just take one Geshe, it's quite strong.
I see.
This one is enough. I'll leave it here only.
No. Anyone has any clue as why this is so related to the food?
I think the Rajma had some spice. I also just for a few seconds. I don't know what it was. But
Anyone has any clue? Radhika? Any clue? No? Rimala? Any clue? From my point of view, 100% is to do with the lunch. Any clue? Rajma, some spice?
Green chili and liver.
Green chili.
Oh yeah, actually it's the chilies. Yes. Chili and the salt. High level salt is there in the food and the chili. So these two things, yeah, it affects. Is there anyone who says, I have. Is there anyone who's a singer? Raghav, you're a singer? No? Rebecca?
Madhuri is Yashla.
Oh, Badriji. You're a singer? Singers,
He sings very well.
singers should have this experience. Why? There's the voice problem. When, what food, one should be sensitive to those things. No. Okay. I think it's better now. First, let's try to finish this text, and then, if little time left, we'll do, say, meditation. Not really do. Let me explain a little bit on the meditation on the emptiness of the mind, associated with the time, right? Okay, so there's 266. The transformation of things also is not perceived even by the mind. Those who lack wisdom nevertheless think that the present exists. So time is consisted of three: the past, present, and future. This is really technical text, very technical text. Okay, I'll try to make things a little easier to the best I can. The opponents who believe, of course, say almost all except for mathematics, they believe in time as intrinsically real, one. Then number two, particularly amongst the classical Indian traditions, philosophers, like say the Vaisheshiks, they believe that just as the atoms are the building blocks of the whole space meaning the physical world, the time is the building blocks for the existence of everything in the universe. This amazing analysis, amazing. So they really give a very profound thought. What is the final building blocks? What are the final building blocks of the whole universe? They say that it's the time. Time is the one which is the atoms. What atoms for the physical world, time is for the entire universe. It's amazing reflection. So the past and future, the Buddhist philosopher, particularly Arjuna's tradition, rejected the presence of the inherently existent or inherently existent past and the future. They say that, but even though thus far past and future they rejected, but the present exists. Present time exists inherently. Because the present time exists inherently, only with respect to present we can speak about the past, and likewise the future. So the moment we are able to establish the existence of the present, then the past and future automatically are established. This is what they say. So they say that the present exists. For example, they say milk. You see that if you keep the milk for a long time, then it will transform into a curd. It transforms into a curd. So it says that transformation of things also is not perceived even by the mind. To say that the milk transforms into the curd, initially there should be the milk, milk as a present moment. Then it transforms into the curd, and you see the curd existing there. So the present is there, and on that basis, then with respect to the curd, the milk, the curd becomes the future. With respect to the curd, the milk becomes the past, and then the outcome of the curd becomes the future. The transformation of things also, and the opponents, they're trying to establish inherently existent in the present moment, and on that basis the future and the future and the past. On the basis of the object, all these objects created by Prakriti. Created by Prakriti, meaning that everything is created by the time exists inherently, and things are created by Prakriti, the ultimate nature. They call it ultimate nature, Prakriti. So this Prakriti, everything that you see around, this is nothing but a manifestation of the Prakriti. So in fact, if we think very carefully, the concept of the Creator God, concept of Prakriti, all these things, they were evolved. They were evolved in various places, various times, because of which even the concept, I was so fascinated. In fact, I just saw Muhammad Ali speaking about God, and he was trying, not just saying that, oh, God exists. No, he was trying to rationalize. It's amazing. How many of you know Muhammad Ali? Those of you know Muhammad Ali means they are, we are the elder generation. Okay, I know that. Churla, you know him? Okay. Then Yudullah, you know Muhammad Ali? No. Okay, which means Yudullah doesn't know. Samala, you don't know? Oh. Wow. He's a legendary boxer, right? And he was trying to rationalize how God exists. He was really trying to give reasons. It's amazing. I was so captivated. I thought that he was going to just make a very general presentation, because it's so popular. Whatever he says, everybody will follow. So popular also, although boxing. But it doesn't matter. For people, if you're popular, whatever you say is true. It doesn't matter in what way you are popular. It doesn't matter. So, and I was listening, and he was trying to rationalize. Oh, he's trying to give very strong reasons. I was so impressed by that. Yeah. Okay. So they speak about, say, the variations are there. How the label, you may call it God, Prakriti, Ishvara, whatever label that you may give, it doesn't matter. The variations, they vary greatly from the one position to the other. They vary. And this one, so nowadays, most of the people, they really don't learn. They really don't learn. Is it because of the battery? Yes. Okay. If you really learn these different traditions, is amazing. Their presentation of the concept of God, concept of the Creator, concept of Prakriti, concept of Ishvara, they vary from one tradition to another. So here, according to this tradition, there's a similarity there, commonalities there, but that, say for example, the milk is created by the Prakriti. The milk is created by Prakriti, and because it is created by Prakriti, it is a nature of Prakriti. It is a nature of Prakriti, and this nature changes into curd, which is also the nature of Prakriti. In other words, everything is nothing but the manifestation of the Prakriti. Okay. The transformation of things also is not perceived even by the mind. So this transformation, grounded on the belief that this is essentially coming from the Prakriti, essentially coming from the Prakrit. This is something which is not perceived even by the mind, not really perceived by the mind, meaning that things all exist as the manifestation of the Prakrit, inherently existent in Prakrit, and then come in the form of the milk, transforming into curd and so forth, and then the time coming into being. So this is what is not perceived even by the mind. Perceived meaning that this is not rationally established by mind. It's not rationally established by mind. Those who lack wisdom nevertheless think that the present exists. So if we analyze well, then we see that things exist only by dependent origination. Nothing really exists with its own intrinsic nature. And those people who do not analyze into this, whether or not things exist by the essential nature or by dependent origination, those people who do not analyze that way, these people lack what is known as the wisdom. And because of lacking wisdom, then they think that things exist the way they appear to them. And how present appears to them, present appears to them as intrinsically real. So they think the present, the time, present, past and future, present appears as intrinsically real, and they think that it actually exists as intrinsically real. So think that the present exists meaning present exists inherently. Okay, so the question is, so here it says that such a transformation of things inherently existent with essential nature. Essential nature means it has nothing to do with my mind. It is from the object. Inherently, through some, say, the essential nature, essential power, like Prakriti. Okay, such thing is not perceived, it's not validated, it's not established by a valid mind. So how do you know that a valid mind does not establish that? So this is what we have to analyze further. 267. Okay, again they say that yes, time still exists inherently, because we see that the functional phenomena means impermanent phenomena, things which function, they exist. Things which function things like, say, the house, the traffic, the food, heat, cold, and these things exist. Functioning things exist, and functioning things abide. For example, say a child is born, and the child lives for like 60 years, 70 years, 80 years, 90 years, or 100 years. Okay, so they abide. Because of which we see that there is the functional things coming to being, then they abide, duration, abide. So that is the inherent existence. This is the intrinsic existence, objective existence. Okay, 267. How can they be things with no duration? Saying that if you can think of such things, meaning functional things, if you think of functional things existing inherently, then they should abide. How can they be functional things which do not abide? Okay. What makes Acharya Aryadeva say that the functional things, how can the functional things exist without duration? Is because of the second line. Being impermanent, how can they endure? Say, functional things means things which are impermanent. Things which are impermanent. Impermanent means they don't endure. They don't have duration. Duration means something which lasts, something lasting, durable, duration, endure. So, being impermanent, functional things do not endure. If they had duration first, if you say that no, they have, it's not that they disintegrate, they last. They last and they endure. First meaning, if they have in the first, say initially they last, they endure, and then they disintegrate. If this is how would you say, then if they had duration first, they would not grow old in the end. If they endure, which means that in the first moment they endure. If they endure, then what factor makes them not to endure next? If that factor has the capacity to make it not to endure, why not this factor made them not to endure in the first moment? So therefore, if it exists in the first moment, endure, then it should also endure the next time. If it does, then it should never disintegrate. They would not grow old, or they would not disintegrate in the end. So this is a contradiction. Okay, 268. Just as a single consciousness cannot apprehend two objects, similarly two consciousnesses cannot apprehend one object. So this is the same reason which is used by Acharya Aryadeva in, say, the 7th century AD. Okay, say that just single consciousness cannot apprehend two objects. Say you are in 2018. So what you experience is 2018. The mind which experiences 2018 cannot experience what is 2017. If you shift your mind to 2017, then you have to release 2018. Your mind should think of 2017 and it is not thinking about 2018. If you think about 2018, you are not thinking about 2017. So your mind can think of one object at a time. Just a single consciousness cannot apprehend two objects. Similar, two consciousnesses can apprehend one object. Right? Okay. Say one object, say 2018. 2018, yes. Say your mind, say this is the object and this is your subject, the mind, consciousness, object. Object disintegrates, subject disintegrates, right? Object disintegrates, subject disintegrates. Say the eye consciousness, you keep looking at this flower. 5 moments of the flower, 5 moments of the eye consciousness seeing the flower, the subject. Same, the first moment of the flower, let's say, the first moment of the flower, first moment, the 5 moments of the flower, 5 moments of the eye consciousness. First moment of the flower is not simultaneous, it's not, okay, let's say that first moment of the flower is the causal factor for the first moment of eye consciousness. First moment of eye consciousness will come second moment, following the first moment of eye consciousness, first moment of the flower. And first moment of the consciousness and the second moment of the flower, these two are simultaneous. So the second moment of the consciousness will see which flower? First moment of the flower, right? Time-wise, it is with the second moment of the flower, but what it sees is the first moment, because the first moment serves as the cause for the eye consciousness seeing the flower. Okay, so this is how it does. Now, the second line says, similar two consciousnesses cannot apprehend one object. So the first moment of the flower is seen by which eye consciousness? First moment of eye consciousness, which exists during which time of the flower? Second moment of eye consciousness. Okay. Now the third moment of the flower comes, and then which moment of the consciousness arises? Second moment of the consciousness arises. Second moment of the consciousness arises. So second moment of the consciousness sees which flower? Second moment of the flower. Second moment of the flower. But second moment of the consciousness is simultaneous with which flower? Which moment of the flower? Third moment of the flower. You're getting it? So just as the object changes momentarily, subject also changes momentarily. So the second moment of the flower will not see the first moment of the flower. It sees only the second moment of the flower, and it cannot see the third moment of the flower. So the first moment of the eye consciousness and second moment of the eye consciousness cannot see the same object, because the object which is seen by the second moment of the eye consciousness is momentarily changing. So what the third moment of the eye consciousness should be seeing, which flower it should be seeing is the third moment of the eye consciousness, third moment of the flower, not the second moment of the flower. So the two moments of the consciousness cannot experience the same object because the object is changing. Okay.
Is this like, is there a provision that it's within the same continuum, the two consciousness?
Yes. So basically the idea is, from their point of view, what is the except what? The duration. Duration means the object should last. If the object lasts, means it should last minimum for two moments. 2 moments it should last. If it lasts for 2 moments, then the 2 moments of consciousness should be seeing the same object. Right? If the first moment of the flower and the second moment of the flower, these two are, so if the flower lasts for 2 moments, first moment and the second moment, without changing, duration means it lasts, last means it does not disintegrate. Without disintegrating, if it exists for 2 moments, then what is in the first moment should be in the second moment also.
Right.
So the first moment of the eye consciousness, second moment of the eye consciousness, both should be seeing the same object. Whereas in reality, one object, let's say in this context, one object of the visual object cannot be seen by the two different eye consciousnesses.
There was this analogy of the mind as a mirror, in which case doesn't the object and the subject arise simultaneously?
No, whether it's simultaneously, so what?
So the first moment and the first moment of
the flower and the
the
first moment of the eye consciousness seeing the flower, these two should be simultaneous.
Yes.
So what? No, the point is, it doesn't matter. The point is, say this, that the object and the subject arising together, this is believed by Chittamatra, not the other schools. But particularly Aryadeva, he is following the Prasangika. Right? Prasangika. Although, keep this in mind, although the Chittamatrans, okay, keep aside, Prasangika and the Svatandra Madhyamika, these very precise distinction came after Aryadeva's time. So whether Prasangika or Svatandra Madhyamika, both the traditions, they respect Arya-Nagarjuna and Aryadeva, two of them, greatly. Which means that both the traditions think that they are interpreting Arya-Nagarjuna and Aryadeva's philosophy very precisely. So two of them, if you ask them, what tradition you are following, Prasangika or Svatandra Madhyamika, so they have no clue. So in actuality of what we have been studying from there, we'll come to know that what they actually taught is very, very well interpreted by Prasangika. This is what we come to know later. So the point is that whether the object and subject, they arise together, the object and subject, they arise with 1 moment difference. Causally, it doesn't matter. The point is that in both cases, one object should not be seen by two different consciousnesses in continuum. Right?
Necessary talking about composite objects.
Okay, the answer is yes. So let's say the duration means is pertaining to the time. So time is tied to the composite phenomena. Because the composite phenomena disintegrates, momentarily disintegrates, then the flow of the time is explained, or it comes into being. So the time is always tied with the composite phenomena. Yes. Okay. So then the 268, there are two things happening. Single consciousness cannot apprehend two objects. Don't forget it. Object and subject. Single consciousness meaning one subject cannot see two objects. Now, object-wise, one object cannot be seen by two consciousnesses. Right? So this is what we have to know. Okay.
we reconcile? Like I'm seeing the recorder and the mic at the same time.
Okay.
It's apparent
Okay,
that
just,
two objects.
okay, let's say, don't forget the object of discussion. What is the main object of discussion? Taking, say, the time as inherently real, and then rejecting the time to be inherently real. This is what is being, this is main debate. Now the time is inherently real means past, present, future. And say the present. The present means something which is not past, which is not disintegrated, which is not yet to come, which if it is not yet to come, is already there. It is not disintegrated means it should endure. Right? So that is confined. That is, so this is what is to be rejected as inherently existent. So this idea. Now with this, what is endure means moments. We are not talking about the things existing simultaneously. What endure means moments. What is there in the first moment existing in the second moment. Right? The same thing without change, the moment. So when that is kept into consideration, then one mind cannot see two different objects in two different times. Right? And one object cannot be seen by two different subjects in two different times. Right? This is the thing. So once we have this, then we'll come to know that what is being rejected. Right? Okay. If there's intrinsic or inherent time, inherent present, then there should be inherently the existing duration there. Things should be enduring. Right? Say, if we do the analysis of the time, by the way, how many of you are experiencing present moment? No, don't feel shy, Jesus. How many of you are experiencing present moment?
Half and half.
No. Are you experiencing the present? Are you experiencing 2017?
Yes.
No.
Huh? No. Why?
It's past.
Because it's past. Are you experiencing 2019?
No.
No. That is future. So, if you are experiencing something, that should be present. You're getting it? Okay. So don't think that you are in the land of the paradise, or you have a mystic experience of past. Just forget about this. Be a normal person. As a normal person, are you experiencing the time right now? We are experiencing. If you are experiencing, you experience what? Past, present, future. Present. Very good. Okay. So present. The moment when we say present, the present. Okay. Just think of anything of the present moment that you are experiencing, not what you have experienced or what you are going to experience. Forget about these two things. Only what you are experiencing. Okay. Just think for a while. This is very important. So you can look at a flower and see, I'm experiencing the flower. Look at the prayer flags, I'm experiencing the prayer flags. Okay, just exclude what you experienced and what you're going to experience. Just observe that, what you are experiencing. Are you sure that you are in Tibet house? I'm not talking about, are you in 2016 Tibet house? No. 2019 Tibet house? 2018 Tibet house, right? Which means the present moment. Okay. Are you sure that you are in Tibet house, 2018 Tibet house? 2018 January Tibet house? Okay, if you're very sure, what you think is sure can be easily shattered. What do you think that I am experiencing? 2018 Tibet House Hall here, this belief can be shattered, right? So this experience, I'm experiencing. Yes, right now I experience at Tibet House, the conference hall. So this experience, okay, what is this experience like? Is it like a dream, or is really so solidly there, as so the vibrant and living experience? What is that like? Living, nothing to do with my mind, is really there. How does it appear to you? Really there as a living, nothing to do with my mind, right? Okay. This is known as seeing the present moment as intrinsically real, right? And this with just a few steps of analysis, this can be shattered. And the first experience could be very scary, that what I'm experiencing is not really true, it's not there, right? Then the fear could be excruciatingly painful, right? It could be very scary. Okay, then say keep doing this meditation once in a while, slowly make it more like a regular practice. Then the fear will be replaced by a tremendous confidence and peace of mind. Yes, Rebecca.
I just wanted to understand, when you say experiencing, physically we experience, but the mind, is for some seconds experiencing and going in and out in the present and the past. So how are we experiencing the present? Physically, body-wise we are, with mind-wise, I'm not sure how.
Okay, mental. Let's say, okay, say somebody, if I ask, just focus on this gong. Okay, just focus on this gong. Okay, let's see. Just focus on this gong. Okay, some people can do it, some people cannot do it. Then some people, they cannot do it? Their mind goes in and out, in and out, in and out. Okay, so for that person, what I have to say is that, okay, this class we will do later. First I'll teach you how to maintain your focus, right? First, we have to learn a little bit how to maintain the stability of the concentration. It may not be for like 10 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, no. Just for a short period of time. Let's say the half a minute where your mind is always in, just focusing without going out. Once you get that experience, once you have this experience, then you will come to the meditation on the emptiness of inherent time, right? Okay. So the point is that we should be trained a little bit to make your mind stay on the object for a, say, extended period of time. That training one should have a little bit of training. And whereas if you don't want to be trained, the person must be extremely sharp. If you're extremely sharp, again, it's fine. You don't require this kind of training. Just say that, okay, do you hear what I'm saying? You say yes, right? Do you hear the sound? What I'm saying here, are you hearing this? Are you hearing this? You say yes. The moment you are hearing this, you are in the present moment.
But is the present moment comprised of many moments?
Exactly. So now the question is, so even this present moment is illusion, right? What we think as a present moment, so solidly there, so well defined there as present moment. 2016 is past, 2017 is past, 19 is yet to come as future. Present, I'm experiencing it. Are you experiencing it? Yes. If you say no, then you are totally against, you are just contradicting or denigrating the conventional world. Right? Okay. So we're experiencing, and what we think is experiencing, this is the whole universe. Meaning that oh, I'm very sad, I'm very happy, he's very successful, she's very successful, I'm not successful, I'm very successful. So now I have this plan to do, right? Or we have another 3 more years to go for the master's course. All these things are being discussed, being experienced, being, say, the dealt with on the basis of what is known as present moment. Past is gone, future is yet to come, the present moment. This is what we, this is the most important thing for the individuals. So, and this one, which is most important thing, what makes us feel that this is most important thing, is that because it is seen as so intrinsically real. This is so real. If something is real, the present is the real. Right? Past is gone, future is yet to come. We don't know what the future is. Present is so real. Real. Our mind interprets this as inherently real. Okay. So now, even this feeling can be shattered. How do you know this is shattered? The moment we go into this analysis, we come to realize that the excessive fear, excruciating fear will come in you. With this analysis, excruciating fear will come in you. This fear, why this fear is coming? Before we do this analysis, we feel so comfortable, it's fine. The moment we do this analysis, then fear comes. Because what we believed earlier is being shattered. For example, say, right now, how many people are with you? Maybe like 15, 20 people around you, right? Suddenly, you close your eyes for 1 second and open your eyes and everybody disappears. Suddenly, what will be your experience, mental reaction? So much of fear will come to you, which means everybody else is actually spooky. They're all like ghosts, right? Okay, so fear. Now likewise a similar experience will come to you, tremendous fear, because since time immemorial till now we have been believing that time exists so inherently. On this basis, then things operate. And you see things operating as intrinsically real. And because of this, intrinsic fear arises in you. Intrinsic sadness arises in us. Intrinsic apprehension comes to your mind. That what will happen to me? I want this to happen, but this is not happening. Then go into depression, stress. All these things happen. Believing that things are so intrinsically real. Because these things are operating in a intrinsic real time. Right? So now, seeing that time is the fabric of all this functional world, the moment you see that the time, what is the present, or the 3 times, past, present, future, present, if there is something which is so real, is the present moment, you feel it. And we have this belief. This is how we operate. The present moment is real. And you see, even the present moment is illusion, not real. Then your belief is shattered. Whole belief in existence is shattered. Because that is shattered, the tremendous fear can come in you. So therefore, if you had really practiced, meditated on this, either do it very carefully by taking steps, or say, if you do it with the help of, say, the assistant, right? That is very important. Okay, so let's see that what we experience is the present moment. That present moment is what? Is a present. Present means time. Time means should have 3 components. What are they? Beginning, middle, and end. 3 components should be there. Without 3 components, it is not a time. It is not a present moment. Present moment means it's a time. Time should minimum have 3 components: beginning, middle, and end. Say, this reasoning, one must gain conviction in this reasoning. If you don't get conviction in this reasoning, then for somebody to meditate on emptiness of time and emptiness of mind, emptiness not only time, emptiness of mind, emptiness of time. For example, say the fear, for example. Say you have, for some reasons, you have a fear. If you meditate on the emptiness of this fear, the fear dissolves, interestingly. Right? Meditate on the emptiness of the fear dissolves. And your mind will feel the lightness is amazing. Amazing experience. The fear will dissolve. But if you cannot tackle it with the medicine, no medicine. If you cannot tackle with this meditation, then you have to resort to medicines. Right? So whereas if you can tackle with the meditation, then medicine is not required. This is an amazing practice. But initially, it can create more fear. Initially, it can create more fear, right? Only when you are expert in this, then this can be the best way by which to eradicate the fear without any side effect, right? Side effect of the medication. Okay. So this rationality is so precious that time should have 3 components: beginning, middle, and end. Say, let's say my 3 fingers. Say, this is present, past, present, and future. Beginning, middle, and end. Okay, let's say 2017, 2018, 2019. So these 3 are attached to each other, or there's a gap? They're attached. Okay, they're attached. Say 2000 at the moment is 2017. 18. So the 2017 was past. Is past. 2018 and 19. 2018 should have a beginning, middle, and end. January is beginning, and December is the end. And the middle is February, March, April, May, June, July, August. All these in the middle. So likewise 2019, beginning, middle, and end. Likewise 2017, beginning, middle, and end. If the center, the middle one, which is the present which is what? 2018. If 2018, the present moment, if it does not have the 3 moments, beginning, middle, and end, if it does not have the 3 moments, then the beginning and the end should be synonymous. If these 2 are synonymous, then the January of 2018 and December of 2018 should be same, synonymous. January is the January 2018 and December 2017. These 2 are no, not closer. These two, they look to touch, right? They have no gap. So 2018 touches with 2017 in ways what? January of 2018 and December of 2017, these 2 touch. And 2018, 2019 also touch, where December 2018, January 2019, these 2 touch. If the beginning of 2018, if it does not have the 3 moments, beginning, middle, and end, then the beginning and the end, middle, these should be synonymous for 2018. If these 2 are synonymous, then January 2018 and December 2018, these 2 should be synonymous. So what touches January should also touch December. So 2017 is the one which touches January of 2018. So 2017 should also touch the December 2018. If it touches December 2018, it should also touch January 2019. So December 2017 and January 2019 should touch. If these 2 touch, then 2018 is gone. 2018 doesn't exist as a time, because immediately after 2017 follows 2019. So if this is how followed, then 2018 doesn't exist as a time. So why this contradiction is happening is because of the belief that the 2018 does not have a beginning, middle and end. So likewise, all time should necessarily have beginning, middle and end. If you don't posit the beginning, middle and end, automatically you will end up in contradiction. Contradiction to reject the conventional reality of the world. So with this, what we learned is that as long as something is the time, it should necessarily have three components. What are they? Beginning, middle and end. And present is no exception. Even present should have beginning, middle and end. If the present has beginning, middle and end, if the present is beginning, middle and end, then the problem arises, what we experience as present, right? Are you experiencing 2016 as present? No. Why are you not experiencing 2016? Because that is past. Why you are not experiencing 2019? Because that is future. So what is future and what is past? These are not what we are experiencing. If you're experiencing something, it should be present. Which means that past and future cannot be the objects of you experiencing. You getting it? Okay. So that what we call is present moment. Present moment, say it lasts for say present moment. Oh, I'm very happy now. Say like for 1 second. 1 second. If it is a present moment, it should have three components: beginning, middle, and end. And beginning is gone. End is yet to come. Right? If you're really experiencing some beginning of what you call as the present moment, 1 second present moment, beginning is like 2016, which is past. Just you don't experience 2016, you cannot experience the beginning of the what you call as the present moment, 1 second. Just you don't experience 2019 because it is future. Likewise, the end of the 1 second you experience, which you call as the experience of the present, is not about experiencing because that is yet to come. So if you are experiencing something, it cannot be more than 1/3 of a second. And even the 1/3 of a second also is time. Again, is that three components: beginning, middle, and end. You go like this. What you are experiencing should not be more than 1/1,000,000th of a second. Even 1/1,000,000th of a second, same analysis. Even that is illusion. So from this we see that it can go down to 1/1,000,000th of a second. And 1/1,000,000th of a second moment we cannot possibly experience because it is too short. It is too short and it's too fast. It disappears instantly. Our mind does not have that capacity to experience this. Because it does not have the capacity to experience that, you are not experiencing any present moment. So what you think that you're experiencing as a present moment, this is illusion. Within the illusion-like nature, things operate. Present, past, future, they all exist. Where? In the illusion-like nature it exists. If you analyze like this, nothing is really there as present moment. You're not experiencing it. It's very scary though. If you really get a glimpse of this, it could be extremely, extremely scary. Right? Extremely scary. And if you're not scary, if you don't feel scared, then this is like what Niels Bohr said. Niels Bohr said one thing: if you study quantum physics and if you're not shocked by it, you have not understood it. Right?
What if you enjoy it, Geshe?
No. Initially, if you enjoy it, maybe you have experienced it in your past lives. You have experienced it, you have meditated on this for long in the past. If this is first experience for everyone, as long as you come from the universe known as samsara, then there's no exception. It's bound to be very scary. Whereas if you come from another world system, Buddha's world system, not from samsara, then there could be joy. Otherwise it is very scary, yes.
Geshe, I'm trying to understand what you just said about the beginning, middle and end.
Yes.
For time. in that context, it's being sensed by the temporal moments of mind.
Yes.
So the definition of temporal here is what?
Time.
So the mind can be defined as moments of time?
In fact, it's the moment of the mind, because moment of time is applicable not only to mind, it's also applicable to the physical world. Because the physical world is the universe is consisted primarily of the physical and the mind, mental. Physical, mental. So this time, moments of time, this is applicable to both sides.
So how does one understand consciousness in this?
No. So if you want to understand what consciousness is, then you have to study Buddhist psychology. It has nothing to do with this analysis. If you want to know how to do the interior designing, then don't go to architects. Architect's job is very different, right? But the internal design architect is also there, right? Okay. Then let's say if you want to know what a car is, then don't go to the architects, right? So they are very different, the streams. So what's the nature of mind? So that we have to do, that is exclusively done in the context of the conventional analysis. So analysis that we're doing now, what is the time? What is the present moment of time? 3 moments. So this is what we're subjecting to ultimate analysis, not conventional analysis. What the mind does, what consciousness is, that is within the domain of conventional analysis, right? For that matter, we have to study the psychology. It's a separate subject. Okay, good. Yes. So we have to finish this text. Not to finish this chapter. Huh? No, we will finish. Yeah. Okay. Otherwise, every Sunday afternoon there will be new faces, and the moment I see new face, again I have to explain the same thing, and you won't understand what kind of stress going in me. Not really stress, heaviness. Okay, again. Right? Anyway, I'm learning a lot. I'm learning patience. Yeah. Okay. So the point is that now 269. If time has duration, duration is not time. Okay. If time has duration, say I have flower. I have flower, right? And if say I have flower, which means I and flower, these two are two different things. Say time has duration. Time and duration, time has duration what? Intrinsically or imputed? Intrinsically. If this is the position that the time has intrinsic duration, means that the time having the duration should not be mentally imputed. It is not mentally imputed, then it should be objectively real, time and duration. If the time and duration, one is characterized and one is the characteristic. Time is characterized and the duration as characteristic. Time has duration. So then these two things should be objectively different. Objectively different is entity-wise different. If these two entity-wise different, two different entities simultaneously existent should be unrelated things. Don't forget it. Two different entities, two different simultaneous entities should be unrelated phenomena, two unrelated entities. If these two are unrelated, then it is like me and my flower. So you can take away the flower, you can take away the flower and I remain intact. You can destroy the flower, I remain intact. So this flower has nothing to do with me. You can destroy the flower, I'm intact. You can destroy me, the flower is intact. Right? These two unrelated things. If these two things become unrelated things, then what happens? That time and duration can be separated. Right? Then the duration can be kept next to India Gate, and time you can keep in Tibet House. So then the time becomes a time without duration, because duration is in the gate and time is here, two different entities. So then the time becomes time without duration. Okay, so it says 269. If time is duration, duration is not time. If it is not without duration, there will also be no end. Same, if this time is without duration, because the duration and the time, these two are separated, two different entities, then you should be able to see a time without duration. So if there is a time without duration, right, without duration, what will come to the end? Something will come to an end only if that abides and then end. It existed once, then it should end. If it does not exist at all, it will never come to an end. Something which does not exist will never come to an end. If it is not without duration, there will also be no end. Okay, 270. 270, they are the two stand, two what? Repetitions there? Okay. If impermanence and things are separate, things are not impermanent. Same reasoning. This is a very important reasoning. Don't forget it. This is a very precious reasoning. Same. If impermanence, things are impermanent, not functional things are impermanent. If functional things are impermanent intrinsically, if functional things are, yes, functional things are impermanent, but if the functional things are impermanent intrinsically meaning objectively, then what's the problem? Okay, is there anyone who can shed light on this? If things are impermanent, things are impermanent, we agree. But things are not impermanent inherently. Things are impermanent, but they're not inherently impermanent. If they're inherently impermanent, what's the problem? Anyone? Yes, Angela?
Things are inherently impermanent. That means they are objectively impermanent.
Yes.
That means that there are objects, functional things and impermanence. They should become entity-wise different or object-wise different.
Yes, then.
And then we should be able to separate the two.
Yes, then.
We should be able to separate impermanence from the functional things.
Yes.
And then functional things can be without impermanence.
Yes. If it becomes without impermanence, then it should become permanent, right? Same functional things are impermanent. This is true. Same. This is a functional thing. This is a functional thing. In what way is it a functional thing? Because it functions to give rise to a result. First moment of the flower gives rise to the second moment of the flower. Is a functional thing. So this functional thing is an impermanent phenomenon. But if this functional thing is intrinsically impermanent or objectively impermanent, then without your involvement of your mind, without involvement of the subject, from the object, the flower, a functional thing, and the impermanent should be same characterized and the characteristic, right? If the characterized and the characteristic, which means that these two are not identical. One is characteristic, one is the characterized. So characterized and characteristic, these two are different from the object. If the two things are different from the object, these two are entity-wise different. If these two are entity-wise different, which means that we can separate the two entity-wise from the objects. One, you can keep the functional thing in my left hand and impermanent on my right hand. So on my left hand, what is there? Impermanent is there? No. What is there? Functional thing. So the functional thing is there, but if it's not impermanent, it should be permanent. So you should conceive the functional thing to be a permanent phenomenon. Okay, this is contradiction. Let's read. If impermanence and things are separate, things are not impermanent. Things should become permanent. If two things are one, if these two are not separate, if impermanence and things, if these two are one, since things are precisely that which is impermanent, how can they have duration? If you say that no, these two are the entity was one. Entity one means from moment one it is impermanent. Within moment one, again there are more moments. Every moment is impermanent. So in other words, the impermanence pervades the functional things. If it pervades, impermanence means change, disintegrate. It does not endure. So, impermanent, how can they have duration? How can they endure? Right? So what they're saying is that there's a present moment which endures. Right? Okay. So 271 is missing. 271, we will note it, we'll write it down. Okay. If duration is not weak, if duration, you can write it down. If you don't have the book, you can write it down. 2000, and say delete one of the repetitions. 270, there's a repetition there, and add this to 271. If duration is not weak, W-E-A-K, if duration is not weak, the next line, because impermanence is weak. Because impermanence is weak, comma, next line, why should a reversal, next line, afterwards be seen? Question mark. Okay, let me say this again. 271. If duration is not weak, next line, because impermanence is weak, comma, why should a reversal, this next line, why should a reversal, next line, afterwards be seen? If duration is not weak, next line, because impermanence is weak, comma, next line, why should a reversal, next line, afterwards be seen? Okay, so now when we really try to say defend a position, your own belief, different position, and you actually involve in discussions, particularly with someone who is has a very clear rational thinking, then you have to end up with different, very strange, say, the positions. Okay, so one position that the opponents are saying is that if duration is not weak, because impermanence is weak, you plant an apple seed, and then the apple tree grows, and the apple tree lasts for a few years. Let's say 5 years. Apple tree lasts for 5 years. Apple tree endures for 5 years. Okay. So now the impermanence. Apple tree, is it impermanent? Yeah. Impermanent spreads across time of the tree, apple tree or not? This question. So with the reasonings given above, somehow you cannot defend the position. So now what they say is that it's fine. The duration is there, impermanence is there, both are there, but they differ in the intensity. They differ in the weakness, degree of the weakness, degree of the strength. So when it lasts for 5 years, the duration is not weak. Duration versus impermanence. These two are contradictory. Duration is stronger. And impermanence, although it is there, impermanence is weaker. So what is stronger supersedes, overtakes what is weaker. So because of which the duration predominates. Duration dominates over impermanence. Although impermanence is there. Right? For example, say the butter, saying if the temperature of the room temperature is 0 degrees centigrade, the butter will become soft, very solid. And when the temperature is like say 30 degrees centigrade, then it starts to melt. It becomes it becomes soft. Okay, let's say if the temperature is 15 degrees centigrade or 10 degrees centigrade, in Ladakh there's no experience.
It remains hard. 10 degrees.
10 degrees centigrade. When is harder? When it is 0 degree or 10 degree?
0 is harder.
Oh, 0 is harder. So there is the degree of the hardness of is there, right? Okay. So likewise, they say there. One is that the element of softness and the element of hardness. When the temperature is 10, element of hardness is there, element of softness is there. Both are there. Both are there, right? Both are there. Element of softness does not allow it to be like rock. Element of hardness does not allow it to melt totally, right? Both are there. Okay, both are acting there. Likewise, when this apple tree lasts for 5 years, so there the duration makes it to last, and the impermanence makes it to disintegrate. So both are acting on the same thing. Whichever supersedes, whichever is more powerful, that will dominate the state of the apple tree. Okay, so for the 5 years, what happens? That the duration is more powerful and the impermanence is weak. It says if duration is not weak, because impermanence is weak, right? And then we can say that the object endures. This is their position. Now Aryadeva is saying, why should a reversal afterwards be seen then? Right? If the duration is more powerful than the impermanence, then after 5 years, why the impermanence become more powerful than the duration, right? Okay, so we will give the answers, but these answers are coming from those people who do not accept objectively existent time. Okay. 272. If impermanence is not weaker and is present in all times, in all things, none of them will have duration. Okay, now if the opponents say that no, impermanence is not really weaker, and impermanence pervades all things, across the things, and is present in all things, first moment, second moment, then none of them will have duration. Duration means something which lasts. Impermanence means which does not last, which disintegrates. So if impermanence is what pervades in all across the things, across the time, then none of them will have duration. Nothing will have inherent duration or duration there. Or not all are impermanent. Otherwise you have to say that those things which have duration, they are permanent, they are not impermanent. Which means that it's not true that impermanence spreads across the things. So this is all because of the belief that time exists inherently. 273. If there is always impermanence, there cannot always be duration. If you say that no, impermanence pervades across time and across the things, then there should be no duration. Or else that which was permanent later becomes impermanent. Or else that which was permanent later becomes impermanent. Otherwise, what we're saying is that initially there is duration and then later becomes impermanence. Initially it was permanent and then later it becomes impermanent. This is not true. Something which is permanent can never become impermanent later. This is the reality.
I was just thinking that one of the first teachings that Buddha gave was on impermanence, and upon hearing that, it seems people got liberated. Now, at the time, he did not clarify whether it was intrinsically impermanent or not. So, is it possible for somebody to believe that things are intrinsically impermanent and yet be liberated?
Okay, so basically the point is, what do you mean by liberation? So liberation, there are so many kinds. Liberation from today's hunger. For this you don't have to study emptiness. Just eat momo. Eat food and you'll be liberated from today's hunger. Whereas somebody who does not know the skill of who doesn't have the architectural knowledge, right? And who's bound by the ignorance of the architectural knowledge, for the person to be liberated, I have to go to Badriji and Sanjeevji. They will liberate us. I don't need to study emptiness. Whereas, if you think that we are bound by the belief in intrinsic reality, If you want to be liberated from this, then you have to study the emptiness of intrinsic reality. We have to study that. So basically, what liberation do you seek? This is the point. And then the fact is that always this is the basic thing we have to know. Not only know, right? We should be convinced of. It should be like a mantra for ourselves. Be kind with yourself and be wisely kind with yourself. These two things are so important. Don't always go for the easier ones. And it is not necessary that you have to go for the more difficult one. It is not necessary. The point is, simply because it is easier, don't go for it. Simply because it is more difficult, you don't go for it. The point is, be wisely kind with yourself. Wisely kind with yourself means that first ask yourself, what do I want? What don't I want? First ask this. Before you start anything, ask yourself, what do you want? I want happiness. What do you don't want? I don't want suffering. Start from there. Forget all religions. Forget all philosophies. Forget your food also. Forget everything. Start from the basic question. Okay. Day one I was born, I never cried. Oh mother, you are in problem. I'm very sad for you. I'm sorry. I never cried. I want the mother's milk. This is how I cried. Everybody cried like this. So we should be very honest to ourselves. What do you want? I want happiness. The next question. What is it? The first one is be kind with yourself. Means give yourself what you want. The next one is be wisely kind with yourself, which means do those things which can actually give you what you want. Right? Say what you want is happiness, and then we go into the easy ways. And the easy ways bring all disasters. So this is very unwise. So do those things which will actually give rise to what you want. And what you actually want, you want 10% happiness or 100% happiness. If possible, 100% happiness. Right? This is the point. So if somebody wants 100% happiness, what forbids you from getting 100% happiness is 100% happiness is total freedom. Total freedom. And what forbids you from having 100% happiness is what's the opposite of freedom? Imprisonment. Loss of freedom. Loss of freedom, in other words, is imprisonment. What imprisons you? What forces you to do what you don't like? What imprisons you? What forces you to involuntarily do things? Involuntarily do things. That is imprisonment. Right? So that is the final manifestation of what we dislike. Involuntarily having to do things. So what is the worst of the involuntary that you are doing involuntarily? This is the involuntary pull and push. That involuntary pull and push is coming because of creating a dream. Creating a dream of ghost, and you forgot that this is your mental creation, and you see it as so intrinsically real there, and then because this is a ghost, you run away from this. You don't have to run away from this. Actually, you don't have to run away from this. This is your mental creation. Why should you have to run away? But you have to run away as long as you don't know that this is your mental creation. You have created this and you forgot that you've created this. You run away, and then the moment the ghost disappears, again you go back, right? Again you feel attached to the original place, you go back. Okay, so pull and push. This pull and push, and in the dream, you will see that this is not a pull and push. This is very natural, this is what I want. When do you see that this is involuntary pull and push? When you wake up. When you wake up, you will stop running away from the ghost, dream ghost. You will stop running towards the beautiful garden. You'll stop that the moment you wake up. The moment you wake up, you realize that what you were doing in the dream was actually an involuntary pull and push because of the dream, because of the deception of the dream, right? So therefore, this is the final manifestation of suffering. And getting rid of this is the final manifestation of happiness. So this is the final manifestation of suffering is because of the ignorance, like a dream, like a sleeping mind, creating the dream of the objective existence phenomena. And getting out of this problem, the wisest thing to do is to undo this through discovering that this is all coming from my mind. To know that it's all coming from my mind, then your mind finds a rest. That is the greatest of the most meaningful rest of the mind. So that happens only if you can know that it's all coming from a mind, nothing inherently there. This is so precious. Okay, so the point is that actually the point is the Buddha's teachings is so varied. For some people, Buddha taught very simple teachings, and depending on the say the mental caliber of the people, that the Buddha taught different teachings. And to the Bodhisattvas of very high level, the teachings are very sophisticated, right? So therefore, for us to be very holistic in these learnings is so precious for us. And only then you will be in a position to really become a great Bodhisattva. Otherwise, it becomes more like, I say, the personal, freedom. And then, even the personal freedom is not too sure. Without wisdom emptiness, even the personal freedom is not possible. Yep. Okay, so now the 271 is done. 273? Okay, here's 273 now. If there is always impermanence, there cannot always be duration, or else that which is permanent later becomes impermanent. That's done. 274. If things have duration and impermanence together, okay, now you say that now they become so desperate. On the one hand, you have to say that duration is there, because present cannot be rejected, present moment, then the duration has to be accepted. On the other hand, we have to accept that things are functional, things are impermanent. So both things exist, they coexist, duration and impermanence. If things have duration and impermanence together, either it is wrong that things are impermanent, or duration is a fallacy. These two cannot be accepted. So for example, let's say that, oh, this flower is red, or this flower is non-red. Redness and non-redness cannot coexist with one particular object, right? Cannot coexist. Okay, likewise, the impermanence and the duration. If you accept one, you have to give up the acceptance of the other. Likewise, with the reverse. 275. Okay, finally they said that okay, time does exist, duration does exist. Otherwise, how can you reject? Otherwise you have to reject, you have to denigrate memory. Memory means to remember the past events, which once happened. Happen means which once was visible as enduring. Because something endured in the past, then the memory comes later. So the memory is something which is undeniable. So therefore, the things which endured also existed. 275. Things seen do not reappear, nor does awareness arise again. Thus, memory is in fact deceived with regard to a deceptive object. Okay, things seen do not reappear, meaning that impermanent. This is what the Buddha taught. This is amazing. Emptiness concept, no doubt, is amazing. Say with exposure to emptiness, then we will get a hope that, okay, there's a hope that I can be freed from suffering. With the emptiness, you get a glimpse of emptiness, you'll see that there's a hope that I can be freed from suffering altogether, right? With this, I can reach to a point where my suffering will be severed altogether. I don't have to repeat the suffering anymore. Okay, and that too not through belief, to rationally say, because of the experience, say with the eating food, your hunger dissolves, your hunger gets over, and then later on, when you're very hungry, then you see rich amount of food there, you're confident, okay, now my hunger will be over. You're so it's not the belief, it's because of your confidence, rational confidence. Likewise, when you get a glimpse of emptiness, you will be rationally convinced, so deeply convinced that my suffering can be severed. 100% now I could see this. Okay, so this is so powerful, emptiness. So just see how much we can get a glimpse of this. Once you get a glimpse of this, then the job is same. Once you see say a stupa which is made of which is golden, say glowing, very brightly glowing stupa there, made of gold and gold bricks. Then I would also like to have a golden stupa made of golden bricks. What should I do? First we see what is this, what is exactly the building block of this golden stupa. You come to this is made of golden bricks. Then what is your job? Then you go together, you get one brick. Oh, this is exactly the brick on the basis of which the other stupa came into being, this brick. Once you get this brick, then what should we be doing to really have a golden stupa for yourself? What should you be doing?
Remove one brick from the ordinary stupa and put the gold stupa.
Okay, first one you remove the worn out brick, replace it with a golden brick. But you have only one brick, golden brick. What should you do now? Huh? No idea? Okay, you have a proper plan, but the golden stupa doesn't come. Accumulate more bricks. Okay. Right, this is not a philosophy, right? Okay, accumulate more bricks. Look for more bricks. Try to get more bricks. How to get more bricks? Causes and conditions, you put effort, you work hard, get the next golden brick, work hard, next brick, and so it'll happen in a one day time, or it'll take much time. It's not the ordinary brick, it's the golden brick, it's very expensive, so you have to work harder, right? Which means that you need time, right? So the wisdom of emptiness, that experience is like finding a golden brick. Once you find this, you have to gather more of these wisdom of emptiness. So for gathering this is not ordinary wisdom. It's very profound wisdom. So we require more hard work. We need more time, right? We need more time. And the time we have is maximum 20, 30, 40 years, right? Not so much. So therefore, we are not a waste of time. You're getting it? We are not a waste of time. The time that we have, make sure that we keep gathering golden bricks rather than gathering ordinary bricks, right? Okay, so time is so precious. This is so important. Now, this is about the wisdom of emptiness. Even the impermanence concept, this is amazing, amazing. What the Buddha said, generalize everything. All composite things are impermanent. Even this line is so powerful. So I've been studying this, I've been hearing this, thinking about this, reflecting on this, meditating on this, as early as when I was in my 20s and 21, 22, or 20, so 19. So, I'm sure some of you have been doing this. So, just as recently as, say, 1 year, 2 years, recently, thinking about this line once more is amazing. The people whom I met in my life, each one of us also, whom I met in my life, earlier, when I lost them, who have a tremendous affection, respect, from whom I have learned a lot, benefited so much. And then when the person was alive, or my teacher was alive, I can go there and show service, give service to him, and ask for advice, and ask questions, and get answers, reflect more. Amazing! There's a resource there, info of the resource there. And then suddenly disappeared. And then say the reincarnation, right? Reincarnation. And the reincarnation, I'm not too sure that part. Okay, so this is not my cup of tea, right? So that thing. But that same person who really benefited me so much with tremendous love and affection, fatherly figure, gone and gone forever. Right, gone forever, will not come back in any ways. This is a fact. This is a fact. Experientially speaking, this is a fact. Will never come back again. Now what we call as the reincarnation. Okay, this is a different subject, whether it's a true reincarnation, no reincarnation, these are all different topics, I don't know. So, but even if it's a true reincarnation, but for us it is totally obscured. There's no way by which we can justify that or can verify this, right? And then it does not behave in the same way as the previous one. In the first place, whether it is the true or not, this is questionable. Okay, that pass. I never want to go into this area, right? The point is that that person is gone forever, right? Okay, now even if I want to serve him, even if I want to just say for example, say my mother, my teacher is my mother, and my father also. Even if I want to serve him, serve her, right, in the best way, right, but gone forever, will never come back in the same form, right? Okay, this is reality. It's hittingly powerful, so powerful, which hits us. This is amazing. And this is what the Buddha taught. All composite things are impermanent. This is what the Buddha taught. This is amazing. So even this teaching is so powerful, so powerful. Okay, this is a little digression. 275. Things seen do not reappear. Things once, what you've seen, what you've experienced, impermanent phenomena, they're gone. They will never reappear. They will not reappear. They're gone forever. Things seen do not reappear. Nor does awareness arise again. Say, my consciousness, which saw my mother, which experiences there's tremendous joy in the arms of my mother's love. So this consciousness, which experienced the mother's love, that is gone. That consciousness is gone. Now it is left imprint. Imprint is there, but the consciousness which actually experienced the mother's love, that is gone. So the object-wise is gone, the subject-wise is gone. Things seen do not reappear. That is the object. Now the subject. Nor does awareness arise again. Awareness, the subject, which experience that the feeling, pain, happiness, whatever, that will not arise again. The same subject will not arise again. Thus memory is in fact deceived with regard to a deceptive object. So, say we speak about the memory. Oh, I could recall that experience. That experience, I'm bringing it back. No, you cannot bring it back. That is gone forever. And I could also remember my mind experiencing this happiness. Even this mind, you cannot bring it back. They're gone forever. Subject, object, both. Memory of the object, memory of the subject. If you do have, what we have is just operating on the illusion level. It's just pure deceptive or illusion. It is not that the memory does not exist. Memory does exist. Everything exists. The point is, not rejecting all things. Things do exist. Things don't exist the way the opponents believe to be inherently real. Things are never inherent. Even the dream, even the memory is also not inherently real. It is deceptive. Okay. Okay, we are done with this chapter. We will quickly do the end of this break. There is a movie screening. Okay, the end direction prayer, page 278. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All powerful Jerisi Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. Just as the brave Manjushri and Samantabhadra too realize things as they are, also I dedicate all these merits in the best way that I may follow the perfect example. I dedicate all these rules of virtue with the dedication praised as the best by the victorious ones, thus gone of their 3 times, so that I might perform the noble Bodhisattva's deeds. May the Supreme Bodhicitta that has not arisen arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish but increase forevermore. Chanju Semjo Rembo Panam Ke Gyuruchi Keba Nyamba Mebaya Kone Kondo Pebarisho. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. Due to the merits of these virtuous actions, may I quickly attain the state of Guru Buddha and lead all beings without exception into that enlightened state. I dedicate the merit thus gathered towards the realization of the deeds and the prayers of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 3 times and to the upholding of the Dharma of teaching and realization. May I in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle and accomplish all the stages of the path of renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect within the 2 stages. With a wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I gender a mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem, I confess the negativities individually, I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings, I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. The path of union of emptiness and compassion is loosely explained by the power of protector of both the Dharma and the beings of the snowland. You are the lotus holder Tenzin Gyatso, we supplicate you that your wishes are fulfilled spontaneously. May the operations of evil thoughts and deeds on the negative forces of humans or non-humans who heard by malice through perverted prayers against the teachings of the Buddhas be totally vanquished through the power of the truth of the 3 jewels. In all my lives, never separated from perfect gurus, may I enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the qualities of the stages of the past, may I quickly attain the state of Vajradhara. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by a Manjushri and be able to uphold the Dharma in general and the teachings of dependent origination in particular, even at the cost of my life.